Hey everybody, this is Larry Little.
Hey, and I'm Melissa Jackson.
And we are flying high today, Melissa. We're going to be talking about that People Loving Parrot. I'm pretty excited about it.
You know, that says a lot right there. You said you're excited. That's some insight into your personality. Are we talking about you today, Larry?
Well, we are talking about, I guess it's my secondary, huh?
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah,
So it's part of my personality. Absolutely. What about you? Are we talking about you, Miss Parrot? Or...
Well, yes, I have that too. So this is going to be fun today.
I mean,
here we are. Be a lot of fun.
Here we are in March Madness, and we're, you know, I'm all about the basketball. I'm loving March Madness, my favorite time of the year. And now we're going to talk about this fun personality. I mean, does it get any better?
I don't know how it could. No idea.
I have one idea how it could, but I don't see it happening.
Okay.
Yeah, I have one idea.
We won't ask the parrot for any further explanation on that. We'll just kind of keep rolling.
No, I want to tell you what it is.
No, you don't have to. Don't tell us.
Robin, I want to tell her what it is. I want to tell her what would make me very happy. I want to tell her.
It's okay.
I want to tell our audience.
Going. We can just keep going.
Melissa, it doesn't always have to be about you, okay? This could be about what I want, what I want.
This is so much fun. This is just so much fun. What is it? Tell me. I have to know
for the
now.
love, tell me now. A dream. If my Auburn Tigers could do well in the tournament, it would be so good.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
We got to keep dreaming.
Keep the dream.
We got to keep it alive.
Keep the dream. You got it.
So parrots. We're talking
man,
about
don't you love those
parrots
people loving
today.
parrots? You got to love them.
And we're talking about, we kind of got this protection theme going. So we're talking about how personalities protect themselves. And the parrot is the extrovert. They are the fun, loving, the create humor.
We got to say that every basketball team that is successful learns how to play good defense, good solid defense. They learn how to protect that goal. And those that don't get that and aren't willing to work on it and aren't willing to invest in playing good defense do not win. Defense wins ball games, my coach used to say, and it is true. So the parrot, we have to learn these healthy ways to cope instead of unhealthy ways to defend ourselves, right?
But we're going to break it down today. And we're going to talk about the ways that parrots protect themselves. So if you know a parrot, if you are a parrot, here's some great information, some things that you can think about, that you can be aware of so you can make some shifts, because it's the shifts that make a big difference. Those little shifts that really allow us to connect in our relationships and do it really well.
Yeah, our parrot friends, I mean, we love humor. We love to have a good time. We love to laugh. We love to cut up. We love to have fun, Melissa. I mean, fun is important,
It is super important. In fact, to not have fun, is really kind of a hard thing for a parrot. It kind of puts them in this zone that's just not who they are. So humor is great. And then humor can kind of be a little protective defense mechanism. So let's go there. Let's just kind of jump into some stats, create some data around some of this.
Well, we have some stats that I don't agree with. I'm just going to go ahead and throw that out there today. So, we're going to talk about...
Because they weren't fun?
They weren't fun
funny?
stats.
What was it? Why did you not agree?
Fun. Well, I'll show you, okay? Well, this one I do agree with. Over 75% of people feel uncomfortable in silence.
That was an introvert that probably, put that together. So, that was a bunch of introverts. That was a big group of introverts that did that.
I think it's truth. I think people feel uncomfortable in silence. I think parrots really struggle with silence.
It is a thing that if you really know a parrot, they have a tendency to keep talking. If there's silence, they want to fill up that silence. They do feel uncomfortable with it. It feels like maybe that person's not connecting with them. They're not, they don't have that relationship going on. So they keep talking.
I think
it's kind of they just keep talking.
Keep going. Yeah. Here's another thing though. I think parrots, if you think about silence, not only are they uncomfortable in silence when other people are around, they're uncomfortable with silence when it's just them. Like, for instance, for years, all the way through school, grad degrees, whatever, it doesn't matter to me. I like to study with music. I love to have some, music going on. I remember as a kid at night, I would love to have the radio on when I fell asleep. If it's totally quiet, I can't study. I mean, I find myself like
need some noise. You need
my
some
focus.
background.
Yeah, my focus goes haywire. So I need that background noise. So I think it's a real deal. I think people feel, and parrots are the worst. Because that's just because I need that doesn't mean Robin needs that or someone else needs that.
Different personality.
Right.
Here's another stat: 2/3 of people use humor as a defense mechanism. 2/3.
Yeah,
what are your thoughts on that?
I think it's a little high. I don't know, but I could see it. I mean, I can see it. But some of our friends, our camel friends, they certainly don't use humor. Turtles might, but it's got to be very. They have a different kind of humor, but kind of nuanced humor. But the lions I could see lions using humor. Certainly the parrots use humor. I don't know. 2/3. That seems high to me.
That's a big number. That is a big number. But I think the point is in using humor as a defense mechanism.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Point today.
Just so I can get it off my chest, I don't agree with psychology today. They said that 80% of laughter episodes are not direct response of jokes or something funny, but are triggered by nervousness, stress, or tension. That's so not true. I mean, I can prove it immediately. If I'm going to hear a comedian, Nate Bargatze, if I'm going to hear him, 100% of his stuff is funny. I'm not laughing because I'm nervous. I'm laughing because he's dang funny.
Are you twitching as you're laughing?
No,
I'm just curious.
No twitching, no nervous. I'm not, nothing. So I think that's a high number. I think a lot of times people may laugh. They can laugh because they're nervous, sure, but more than likely, I think they find things funny. I mean, come on.
So what I'm hearing is you don't really agree with any of these stats today.
Well, some of them I do, but no, not all of them. But I do think this is a good one. 1 in 3 people express a cortisol spike similar to fight or flight response when they engage someone with too much energy. That is so true. I even experienced that. If someone has too much energy in the room, they come into the room dominating. I want to either, knock them on the rear end, or you want to leave. It's kind of one of those things. You just kind of want to go, this is, you
can't match it.
It's awful.
You can't match
you
that
don't want
energy,
to.
and
You want to just get out of the situation.
Yeah. So we've made this point that, extroverts, those parrots, have that tendency that is truly a gift to create humor, to laugh, to connect in relationships. But it can also kind of be a flip side. It can be a weakness when they use humor to kind of protect themselves. Because what we know about parrots is we know they need connection. They need interaction in relationships. They need to be needed. They need to feel that value in relationship. And so all those things are super important to their ability to feel good about themselves.
Yeah, I have a question for you. I want you to answer it. Just tell me what you think. So do you think if someone uses humor that they are viewed as less intelligent?
That was one of those stats, right?
I just need to know. Okay, I know, but I need to know. I don't tell the stat what it says. I just want to hear your opinion.
So that they appear less intelligent?
If they're funny, if they use humor, that you perceive them as being less intelligent if they use humor.
There's so many different sides to myself. Are you asking?
Oh, boy.
It depends.
Robin,
I don't know. It depends. It just depends. So let's move on.
Well, the stat said, since you're struggling, the stat said 30% that people who use constant humor are perceived as 30% less intellectually capable of handling complex crises. I don't know. I think it takes intelligence to use good, clean humor. I think it takes intelligence to use humor that makes you think and kind of, that's really funny, or see things from a different angle.
Yeah.
So now the clown, I get it. The goofy, I get it. If you're goofy and you're just, and I do understand that in a crisis situation, that's not the time for humor too. I mean, to be fair, that may be what they're saying. So I think we overuse humor, which we're going to talk about. We overuse humor. It certainly invalidates us. Yeah.
Well, I think, in all reality, I think this is speaking to those that use it as a defense mechanism or to protect in some way, where they can't, they can't let their guard down a little bit and be authentic. And so, that's where we want to focus today,
right.
Because authenticity in these relationships is so important. It's part of what deepens your relationship. And so here's some shifts that, we need to be aware of that can be made. Those parents can do that. And in return, their relationships and making some of those shifts can increase. They can get better.
It can. And before we jump into this, let me just say, when we talk about shifting, we're talking about being uncomfortable at times. A shift is not easy. It's not something that, we just do and we don't have any effort in. It's difficult. So this is not about the parrot being comfortable. This is about the parrot learning a behavior, learning how other people may perceive her, and seeing or him and seeing a behavior that allows them to clearly connect, right? To another person or engage another or contribute to, effectively contribute to another person.
I think another piece of that is doing a shift doesn't mean you're always going to get it right the first time.
Good call.
And so being willing to keep trying that shift until you feel like you can get better at it.
And if you base your shift on how you feel in the moment, you're never going to continue to do it because it's going to feel uncomfortable. You're going to feel unheard. You may feel invalidated. You may think they don't understand where I'm coming from. All of these feelings inside of you cannot drive what we're about to tell you. We're about to give you some tools. We just need you to cognitively to say, okay, I'm going to choose to use them, and I'm going to choose to do it over and over again until I can connect or engage and start building a strong relationship with those around us, instead of what parrots are known for. I'm at 30,000 feet for a minute, but what parrots are known for is kind of flying around at a high level in relationships and not really being able to go deep into a relationship. The reason is they don't listen. They can't slow down to listen. Instead, they want to get that approval. They want to get that affirmation. They do that through jokes and humor and get people laughing. But getting to people to laugh is not truly deeply connecting with them on a relationship. It's connecting with them on a high level. It's not hearing who they are. It's not holding who they are. It's not walking through pain with who they are. It's being willing to hold some of that pain that builds the deepest, strongest relationships. And those are the shifts that we're going to talk about that parents really need to focus in on and say, look, if people are important to me, and I believe they are, then I've got to be willing to invest in them in a way that meets their needs and not just my needs. It's not about me. It's not about meeting my needs.
I would think you believe in this or something. I just would think that, you feel strongly about this.
Just a bit. So strongly I wrote a book about it. So yes.
Good. So good. So let's talk about the shifts. The first one is shift from impressing to expressing.
Yeah, this is that affirmation thing. In parrots, we have to be very careful because when people nod their head, when they smile, remember, we are excellent at reading body language. So we're watching. And when those parrots, then they see that person nodding, or they see them smile, or they see them listening to them and not, then that means, oh, they must approve of me. I must be impressing them. I have their attention. I'm attention seeking. Parrots need to be really careful about overusing attention seeking, overusing trying to impress, because while it feels good in the moment, in the long term, it sends a signal that this was all about me, and there's no space to hear the identity and the emotional needs of those around you.
Well, and even a kind of a different angle to that, the parrot may be nodding their head as in a form of connecting. They're nodding, they're showing that external body language to show that they're present, that they're engaged. It doesn't mean agreement. What you're saying is they have to slow that down and really shift their attention so that they're aware of that other person. So we're shifting from this connecting or impressing to expressing.
And expressing doesn't mean being histrionic or overly emotive.
What does that word mean?
Expressing means learning to be authentic, expressing your heart, expressing that you want to hear from the other person, expressing what is important in this it's more important for me to hear you than it is for me to entertain you. It's more important for me to hear you than it is for me to get your approval. It's more important for me to stand still and listen than it is for me to tell a joke or use humor, that kind of thing. So it's about expressing my authentic desire to hear you.
That's good. Strong. Very, very strong. So here's the next shift. To shift from comic relief to emotional relief.
Yeah, this is because parrots don't like to see people hurting. This is clearly from their heart. It's not anything, anything evil. It's just they don't like to see people hurting. So they use comic relief to try to they're really trying to bring them up. But if you dig on that just a little bit, what they're really trying to do, the parrot, is trying to make themselves not feel so uncomfortable. Because if the person's hurting, then they're hurting, and they're trying to bring the situation back up because they don't like that feeling of hurt. It's okay to do that sometimes when you're trying to help a friend up with a humorous statement, but it gets misinterpreted when you try to use that comic relief and they are seriously emotionally damaged, and it's not appropriate. It's not right. It's more appropriate for you to say, look, we're here together. Let's hold this together. If I don't hold your emotion, if I'm not strong enough, if I use humor, or if I use avoidance, or if I use whatever I use, then it sends a real signal to you that you're not important to me. If you're important to me, look, this is not funny. You are hurting. You're emotionally damaged. You're emotionally, you have emotional issues going on. I want to hold that with you, and I'm going to walk with you, and I'm not going to use comic relief to get us out of it, because you need to walk through this, and I need to walk through it with you, not avoid it.
And sometimes that's just sitting with that person,
Yes.
Sitting, like physically sitting, or just kind of sitting in the conversation, not talking, not just being present to give that person space and connection through just the togetherness. This is something that I think is hard because of how humor can be used. It can be effective. It can be supportive. It can change, a person's mindset and how they feel. But knowing that this is not always the tool to use, I think it's important.
It goes back to that stat about silence. And when we can sit in that, as you said, and be quiet, and don't have to have an answer. You don't have to have a fix. You don't have to make it better. You don't have to smooth it over, and which is what parrots love to do. I don't want to soothe anything. The soothing is your presence and your listening and letting that person vent or talk or emote, and be strong enough to hold that emoting without reacting to it. Without trying to, justify or not, just hold it. Just be there. Be in the moment. Be present. Be present.
That's a good word. Good word. Here's another shift. Shift from avoiding disappointment. Shift from avoiding disappointment to allowing it.
So you've heard me talk about this before. It's a big deal for parrots to get that approval. And if there's a hard conversation and I don't think you're going to agree with me, then as a parrot, I might just avoid it. I might not even get there. I may never have this conversation because you will not approve of me once we have that conversation.
And I believe you won't. I go ahead and I have that thought as a parrot. Yeah.
Yeah. You're not going to. So I've already told the story in my mind. I've already decided that. So I think parrots have to get to the place where they stop living their lives, living their relationships for the approval of those around them, or to avoid disappointing those around them. So if I'm so afraid of your disappointment in me that I don't speak truth to you, that I'm putting on a facade, and I'm really causing our relationship to be at a really surface level. So I have to get to. It sounds kind of weird, but I have to get to the point where I stop needing your approval before I can really be your friend, before I can really have a relationship with you. If our relationship is solely based on my winning your approval about everything, all that is me entertaining or me putting on a facade, trying to win your approval over and over without having the authenticity and the depth to disagree with you, without having the authenticity and the depth in our relationship to say, we may not agree with this, but we can talk about it, and I want to hear you. And I'm gonna have this conversation, even though I know you don't agree with it. But I'm gonna have it with kindness and clarity, and how I have it is really important. But I'm gonna have it. I'm not gonna avoid it, because what the difference? I mean, in a relationship, if all I do is seek your approval, then I just become a yes man. I just say whatever I think you want me to say to get the response that I need or that I want. That's not authentic. It's not real, and it really is not the stuff that long-term relationships can be made of.
And to that person, that parrot, they can't really bring who they are to the relationship. And relationships, there are strengths and weaknesses on both people's side. And that's why we need each other. That's why it's important to have each other. And so if that parrot can't be and bring who they are because of fear, then, fear stops them from adding to that relationship. And they can become kind of lost. Their identity becomes in the other person's identity.
Yeah, they don't know who they are. And the other person never really knows how the parrot feels.
Right.
I mean, I've seen this over and over again. It's like, I had no idea you were hurt because you were able to, divert or be funny, or because they don't want to be seen as being weak or whatever. The parrot then uses humor or whatever to mask their own feelings, to mask their hurt, to mask their anger, to mask their frustration. So I think that's a great point, Melissa.
So here's the last one. We've talked about this just a little bit, but to shift from feeling silence to feeling it. So to shift from, not allowing silence to take place by filling it up with conversation or humor or movement or sound or noise or something, to shift from that so that you can actually allow yourself to feel for yourself.
Yeah. Let me show you something, okay?
I'm feeling a little uncomfortable.
I just gave you less than 15 seconds. I was kind of going for 15. That was less than, but you jumped in around 12, 13. And but I bet some of our listeners even were checking their iPhones or their Androids or whatever, that did it stop? What's going on? And all I did was be quiet for less than 15 seconds. And I wanted to do that so that we can get a picture of what it feels like, because it's so important. It may be uncomfortable. Your gut may be churning. That's okay. The person needs you to sit quietly. We need to, when we feel it, what that means is, it doesn't mean that I'm feeling like I'm uncomfortable. I will be uncomfortable. It means I need to feel when you need to speak and I need to listen. I need to
say that again.
I need to feel when you need to speak and I need to listen. Parrots are great people skill readers. So read this, use this skill, and be quiet. What's uncomfortable to you is like a glass of water to someone else. And even if they're quiet, if they're our turtle friends or our camel friends, and they just need to sit in silence, it's okay. It's okay. They'll let you know when they get uncomfortable with that. Give them that. What does that do? It creates the space for the introvert, and sometimes even the extrovert, the lion, but it creates the space for them to process, for them to feel safe, to know that you are with them. More than just with your mouth, your voice. You are with them with your emotion. You are with them with your presence. You are with them with your soul, if you will, and you're just sitting with them. And I think sitting in that silence is one of the greatest skills that parrots can learn, and it will validate those in their relationships. It will help them to have more credibility and among others, because they won't feel like they need to fight or flight. Just learn to be quiet.
Sometimes you might, as a parent, need to sit in silence for yourself, to be aware of some of these things, so that you can make it a choice to do some shifting because it's purposeful.
Yep. And just to be clear, we're not saying don't have humor. Humor is important.
Not at all. Not at all.
Humor, in fact, is so important that the people clamor for it. They need it. They want it. I was so glad today was a parrot, because if I got a joke for you guys today.
Have you been prepared for this? Did you really look ahead and you got a joke that you just...
I'm not sure. I'm going to go ahead and say, we'll let you know if they let me keep this joke or not. But this one may be take two. I don't know, but I love the joke. So they're both shaking their head. I love it. The dad joke.
Do we need to sit in silence?
Okay.
Goodness. Okay. Here we go.
We got to end with a little humor. We got to bring this thing. We got to bring this back up. Are you ready?
Do it. Ready?
All right, guys. Here we go. I get tickled when I read this joke. Okay, wait a minute. Here we go. Last night, as I lay in bed gazing up at the stars, I thought, wait, where the hell is my roof?
And so it is. Sometimes it's better to sit in silence. Great point. Thank you.
Come on, guys. You got to know that is great. Where's my roof?
Well, it's been great to meet you.
Robin's cracking up over here. I love it. I got it. Hey, thank you so much for laughing with us. And, yes, I may get out of the box just every once in a while, but I'll try to get back in. Hey, we do truly appreciate you listening. We hope you picked up a few things that can help you in your relationships. Remember, it's those little shifts that really make a difference. We'll talk to you next time.
Little shifts that make a big difference. RelationShifts. Little shifts that make a big difference.